Hello and welcome to my second client's health questionnaire. So we'll start with a review. This is where I'll go over some things that I can change and some things that I won't be able to. Things that I'm able to change are things such as diet and nutritional advice, where I can give him more nutritional advice about his diet, which will alter how like stuff like his BMI, and hopefully will improve his fitness and health overall. And also I'll be able to change his ability to build more muscle to reach a suitable and healthy weight. But there are many things that I can't change, such as his age, gender, and medical issues and medical history from the past. These are things that I'm unable to actually change. So we start with the heart rate check. As we can see, his heart rate is 74. The average for his age is about 72, so he's perfect for his age. He is perfectly average, and this doesn't really need much improvement on, as he fits into average, unless he wants to improve it himself and go above and do more. His lung function is 520, which is pretty low for his age and height. As we can see on the graph, it is here, and he doesn't really fit in with where he's supposed to be. His height and weight check on the right on this graph, it shows that he is 8 stone and a half ish and 5'10", and this categorizes him as underweight, which is a major thing that we need to improve on. However, this can be done through multiple ways, which I'll explain later on. His blood pressure in check and hypertension is perfectly fine. He is near the ideal blood pressure. However, he does exceed into pre-high blood pressure. This could be due to many factors which may cause a role, so this needs to be also brought down on. His waist to hip ratio is perfectly healthy. It is 0.84, which is perfectly fine, and it categorizes him into the health risk as low, so there's no improvement needed for that, and he's perfectly fine for that one. There's a couple of fitness tests that we ran, and we have the results, and this is basically an evaluation of all of that, and it shows us what went well and what needs to improve on. So for the waist to hip ratio, it has a perfectly normal and healthy waist to hip ratio, so there's no need to improve on that, as it's already very healthy. The heart rate test, he had a very average and good heart rate, and this was most likely due to his 3 runs every day. This brings this down, it clears all the veins and everything, so the heart is able to pump faster and stronger, and it doesn't need to be pumping as much, which is why it's so low. There are no areas of improvement for this one. For his blood pressure check, there wasn't many strengths because it was into pre-high blood pressure, which needs to be improved on. And to do this, he must improve on his diet and alcohol intake. This means he may be taking too much sugar, and which causes high blood pressure, and alcohol also. This means he needs to cut down on these to actually bring this blood pressure down. His body mass index also doesn't have any strengths because he's underweight and has a low BMI. To improve this, he must eat bigger meals and start eating more instead of just snacking like he said he does. This can also be done through other ways, which I'll explain. And his peak flow test didn't also have many strengths also. This may be due to he needs more muscular training instead of aerobic. This means higher intensity running, which will improve alveoli and will create more strong breathing for him, so his peak flow will raise up by this. We then move on to the evaluation of the lifestyle questionnaire. For his goals, he has a very good goal to put on more muscle and able to run faster. This means this is reachable as he is underweight, and this can be altered, so we're able to with a diet plan and stuff, we're able to reach these goals for him. However, he also wants to lose weight, although he is underweight, and this will be soon very unhealthy, so we need to keep an eye on that, and that isn't a suitable goal, as he's already very underweight. The doctors have also told him apparently that he needs to start eating more. For his physical activity, he is actually very active and runs a lot. This will keep his heart rate low and keep him active constantly with his stressful job that he has. However, he could start going to the gym training to build more muscle if he wants, and if he doesn't enjoy weights, he could start stuff like swimming, which also builds muscle up for him. We then move on to nutrition, and this means strengths is that he eats sort of healthy foods and snacks such as cereal bars and soup, and he also doesn't smoke, which is very good. But however, he doesn't actually eat meals, which is really important, and that must change. Because for this, he needs to gain more weight, which will bring that underweight into the normal weight category. However, as he only snacks, this is a big improvement that we need to focus on. For his physical health, there aren't any injuries or anything. However, he is in a stressful job, and this could cause potential stress. We then move on to the no medical history, which he has no medical history apart from the food issues, which is snacking, obviously. And this means he must eat more because the patient is fainting due to no energy. So the only improvement that we are able to do is bring in more protein and energized snacking, or meals. And if not that, larger snacks, so he's actually having a larger portion of what he's getting and less times. There are three main improvements that I want to focus on, and one of them is dietary. This is one improvement which my client must make is their diet. This is because the individual, my client is taking in a high amount of alcohol consumption and is also skipping all meals and only plans on snacking. This has caused the individual to faint multiple times and avoids the doctors due to them saying for him to eat more. For the improvement, here I recommend making a logbook for the exercise and food that the individual does. The client should start eating meals also, however, to avoid the saturated fats if they don't want to avoid putting. He wants to avoid putting on weight. So to do this, to reduce the weight, like putting on too much weight, get rid of the saturated fats. However, the client should be aiming to reach the normal weight category, as currently they are underweight. The client may also be looking for a nutrition expert who can plan their meals for them to make sure they don't become overweight, however reaching an ideal healthy weight. The client should also be aiming to cut down the amount of alcohol by binging at the weekend alone. I recommend not drinking as much as water. I recommend not drinking out as much and buying a water bottle which will show the amount of litres per day, so you can also log this. Another recommendation for the individual is their body mass index. To improve this, the client should be aiming to eat larger meals to put on more weight so they can reach a suitable and healthy BMI instead of being underweight. As it can be seen, my client doesn't eat meals. This means the individual snacks. With these snacks, they are most likely not ensuring a healthy fibre day and enough nutrients. I recommend more of a protein for a suitable weight gain. This should include snacks such as nuts, which are high in protein, eggs, full-fat milk or small yogurt, and chunks of cheese or spilled muscle alongside their aerobic exercise. To gain more weight, the client should be also aiming to start weight training. However, as they don't enjoy the gym, I recommend a weighted vest for running. This means the individual can put as many weights as they want on for running, and this will also add to the resistance and train the muscles to cope with the weight, which will mean they'll be basically doing the gym but the way they want to. A last improvement for my client to focus on is the amount of stress which they have and they face in their job and every day. This is because my client is a banker who works in London. This means he has to commute every day to reach his job, which can also be very stressful. This also limits the amount of exercise which he is able to get out on his way to work. He has also rated stress levels at 7 due to work, so this needs to be brought down. Therefore, I recommend my client to avoid substances such as alcohol and nicotine. Although they may alleviate stress for a short period of time, they can't ultimately help the stress and is very unhealthy. I also recommend my client to continue with the daily exercise, as this reduces the levels of stress due to hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. My client may also need some help from talking to someone if he has too much stress. As he has been drinking alone, this may show he has no one to talk to also. So I've suggested a counsellor or therapist to help deal with the stress, and they can figure out plans and help him talk through the stressful situations, which then he'll be able to change outside of my health questionnaire, and this will bring him more help and make him a healthier person overall, most likely. Anyway, that is the end of my my health screening questionnaire for my second client. Thank you for listening.